Hello students. Today we will be working on H1.2, the magnitude of vectors. This is on page 8 in your pink, or page H8 in your pink packet. Our objective, I can draw vector quantities, use vector notation, and calculate magnitude. And remember what magnitude is? Magnitude of a vector is the length of the vector. With notation, it looks like double absolute values. Use the distance formula or Pythagorean theorem to find magnitude. Most students have found the Pythagorean theorem to be easier, so we'll go with that. The zero vector has no zero length and no direction. These are four possible relationships between vectors. V equals W because the vectors have the same magnitude in the same direction. Vectors V and W have the same magnitude but different directions. Vectors V and W have the same magnitude, remember that's length, but opposite directions. And then vectors V and W have the same direction but different magnitudes. Okay, so we have those different scenarios. Next, they show you some examples. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next page. Or actually, this is down at the same page at the bottom, H9 still. So never mind, it is the next page, 13. And it says find the magnitude of the vector. I'm first going to put it in component form because that makes it easier. So if I look at A, I can see that A is 5 over and 3 up. So the vector A okay, now to find the magnitude, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem because the Pythagorean theorem says for every right triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in this case, c is equal to a. So I go 5, because this is 5 squared, plus 3 squared equals a squared. So A is going to be your C, okay? 25 plus 9 is 34. It's A squared. 34 equals A squared. Take the square root, and A equals the square root of 34. Now, if we have our handy-dandy calculator, and we say 34 square root, equals 5.83, round to the nearest eighth. A equals 5.3. 34, to simplify that in square root form, and there is your magnitude. So again, component form, magnitude or length is that or that, okay? If this had a factor of 4 or 9 or 16, I would break it down, but it doesn't, so I continue on. Number 14. It says B, so that vector B, I'm going to write it in component form. We're going to go left 2, so that's going to be negative 2, and then down 6, negative 6. So then to find the length, I'm going to go A squared plus B squared, so negative 2 squared plus negative 6, and I should put it in parentheses, squared equals b squared. Okay, so again, your right triangle over 2 and down 6. So we get 4 plus 36 equals b squared. Then we take the square root, so that's 40 square root. And then we break that down into 4 times 10, so we get b equals, and 4 breaks down into 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. So there's our factor tree for 40. We have a pair of 2's, one goes out, one goes away, and we're left with 2 times 5 underneath the square root. 2 square roots of 10. Okay, So now we do it on our handy dandy calculator. 6.3. Okay. I'm going to give you the component form of 15 and then have you do it on your own. If I go left 8, that's negative 8. And then I'm going up 6. There's your component form. So you find the magnitude. Okay. You can stop the video and I can double check your work. We're going to jump to page H10 and do number 16 where it says sketch the vector and find the magnitude. So 5, negative 4 means over 5 down 4. Put a point there. And that's not such a great line, but that's your vector right there. So if we're going to find the magnitude of that, we're going to say 5 squared plus negative 4 squared equals, and this is our vector v squared. 25 plus 16, 41. Then we take the square root at the end. So v equals square root of 41. 41, I believe, is prime, so nothing will go into it. So we leave it like that. Next, we use our handy dandy calculator. 6.4. Okay. Next, ST for S equals negative 3, 4. Negative 3, 4. And T is 0, negative 1. So it goes from S to T. And then I'm going to use my triangle. So I'm going over 1, 2, 3. So right 3. And down 5. So then I use my Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 5 squared equals, I'm going to just put c squared for now. 9 plus 25. Oh, is it the same as the other one? 34. And then c equals 5.3. Okay. All right. And again, magnitude, I should probably put the magnitude of ST and get used to drawing the absolute value of ST equals this and that. Okay, you can get the rest of that page, students. You rock.